Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this fourth video in which we are going to be dealing with this filter tab. This is the filter shelf, in fact. So these things are called shelves. So let's say we want to put a filter on this. Let me just delete that again. Let's say I want to put a filter on this purchase order number. I can just drag it here. So I have three options here. So either I can select from a list or a custom value list, which is difficult for me. And I can decide to use all. But I don't want to use all. I want to select from a list. So I can just say all here first. If I want to exclude something, I can exclude. I can select and that will be excluded, but I don't want that right now. Or I can reset. So I'll just click on apply here and click on OK. So it's difficult for me to edit the filter because if I click edit filter, so I can edit the filter here, but it's difficult for me. So I can simply say show filter, and the filter is going to be shown here. And by default, it's always good to have this multiple values drop down. So it's easy for me to select. So currently everything is selected, so that is pretty that is okay. You can also experiment with the different options that we have. Now, let's say we want to analyze some of these variables across the different countries. So it's a good thing that I have the country tab here, and I don't have any problem with the country names. Otherwise, maybe this would have signaled an error, but currently it's recognizing. So if I just click on country, so you can see that we have the mostly African countries, and oh, sorry about that. So I can in the map here. So you can see that mostly we have the African countries, we have this Afghanistan, Vietnam, and mostly African countries. We have one South American country, and this is probably Guatemala and Haiti. Okay, so this is the default. This is the default view. So this is the pen. So I can choose to highlight some of the countries through this. For example, the lasso tool. So this is the lasso tool. So I can get a lasso. So it's going to highlight these. So it also gives me different options. So for example, I can say like this, I create a lasso. So keep only or exclude these. So if I want to exclude them, so I can exclude it. So for example, I don't want to, let's say I'm focusing only on Africa and South America. So I can just do away with Afghanistan and Vietnam if I want. So sorry about that. So I can draw a lasso tool here, and I can say exclude. So these will be excluded from the analysis, okay? Similarly, I can make a selection using either square or circle, and I can also zoom. So this is zoom out, zoom in. So this option is pretty good. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change the color. So I just click that up to the orange color, okay? And then what I can do is that I have these different options, and like I told you that this marks sheet, this marks shelf basically is the best one in Tableau. This is the most useful one. So what I can do is that I can put the size as the fleet cost, okay? Because the fleet cost is something which is something I want to analyze, how much the cost of the fleet is. So I can put that as the size here. So you can see some countries have a very high fleet cost as compared to the other ones. The other ones almost become negligible. So I think Nigeria has the highest one, and this is similarly Zimbabwe, Zambia, and here Haiti also is pretty significant. And like Namibia and Angola, they don't have that fleet cost. But obviously, we have to analyze that with respect to other attributes as well to understand that why the fleet cost is more here. And just to tell you about this label, so the label basically gives you a value here. So I can just maybe the pack price can come as a label. So I can, let's say I go for the average fleet cost as in the previous video. That makes it, that makes the more relevant for me. So you can see that the sizes have now changed, and the pack price is written here as is the labels, but you can see it's very difficult to understand. So we have to actually change how the pack price is written. So we'll do that in a bit. And then I can also use the color. Okay, so I can use the color to, let's say I put the weight here. So by default, it creates this this gradient based selection. So I can edit colors. So the automatic is the blue one. I can go for the orange one. So if I zoom in a bit more, so here we have to select that to move the chart. So let's focus on Africa for the time being. So the Libya is also there. You can see it's a very less one. So let's analyze these. Now when we zoom in, the pack price is now visible more clearly. It's not visible for all the factors, for all the countries, but mostly it can be seen. So let's analyze them and see what the chart is telling us. So let's take this as the average weight first of all, because it's always better to take the average. So the let's say we're interested in countries where the feed cost is less with larger weights. Okay, so the larger weights, the feed cost is represented by the size actually. So the feed, if we look at this country, for example, Botswana. So Botswana, Botswana has comparatively less weight because it has a less dark color, has a more faded color, but its size is more, and that means feed cost is more here comparatively. We would expect that if the color is faded, so feed cost should be less with respect to the weight. But we're looking for outliers like Botswana, in which the average feed cost is quite high, although the weight is not that much comparatively to like other countries. Okay, so this is one thing that we can extract more countries like these. And similarly, we look for countries in which the colors are dark, but their size is small. So comparatively, you can see that Malawi, the weight is higher because it's a darker. I think it's the highest average weight here of the consignments, but the feed cost is comparatively less, for example, as compared to Cameroon. So in this way, we can do an analysis and try to understand what's happening in different countries. As far as this the pack price is concerned, so I have some concerns about how this is being displayed. So it's a label. So if I click on label here, so I can choose to choose to see how these things are aligned. So by default, this all is automatic. So I can I can choose to align them like this, or in the center, or here. So automatic is better here. As far as the direction is concerned, I can have this. This seems pretty awkward, and same here. So let's do that with the automatic one. And I can put it at different levels of the vertical. Either it goes above the point or below the point. So I think the center one is a bit better, but I think this is even better. And I can turn off the wrapping or turn it on, but here it's not making any difference. So in any case, we can just try to change this with respect to how we see. So if I decrease the font size to 7, okay, and other than that, I can I can allow the labels to overlap. So now I think it's gonna show me all the labels now. Now it's showing me at least. So I can allow the labels to overlap by decreasing the font size and then allowing them to overlap. So this is okay. And similarly, what I can do here is that I can where is that? This one is here. So now I can allow it to go just on top of that. So just to make things clear, okay. And now I can even make it like 8 or 9 even. I think 8 is better. So in this way, we can, we can experiment with different, things and see which one works best. But these two are causing confusion. So this can be, I can zoom in on these areas to understand them better. And another thing that I can do is that, so now we can compare all these things together. So for example, I can see the total pack price, because I put the sum here, or I can even, if you want, we can do that as the average as well, depends on the conditions. So I can see the average pack price across the different countries. I can see their weights, I can see their freight costs. And similarly, now I can analyze them and see, how these three variables are playing with each other with respect to my business requirements. So even this kind of chart is going to take me quite a lot of time to understand what's going on. It's very easy to, configure things, but it's not, it takes some time to understand because we're playing with three variables. And this here is telling me, an idea of the, what does the size means about the feed cost. What I can do is that I can also drag the country here in the tooltip. Okay. So in the tooltip, I have the country. So I can just see here which country this is, Malawi. I think it showed me by default as well. So you can see here what. Now, let's say, the country is in the tooltip. So country also comes in the filter. So let's say I currently remove this. Let's say I believe that these POSO are too many. Okay, for one filter. So I want to create a group of SOs and SCMS. So what I can do here is that I can go and say create a set. And in this set, I can select only those SCMS values which are of my concern. So let's say, okay, I'll just take a few, just the first few values, just to create an example. So let's do like this. Okay. So this is so I can say PO set number. Let's name it that. I drag it here. So please keep in mind that I can't use both of them at the same time. So I have to deselect this. So I can deselect this by saying add to context. Okay. And then I can actually say show the filter. So the filter shows here. And similarly, I can say multiple values drop down. So I'm not looking at this filter. Okay. So currently everything is selected, but now I can, select some of those, or I can select all and deselect some of them just to make it more clear. So you can see what's happening for my particular selections. So for my particular selections, we have only 3 countries which are, of our interest, but this is the set I created just randomly. Okay. I can also create a level of filtering here. So I can just, first I want to filter with respect to this, and then I want to filter with respect to the dosage form. So let's say that I'm not clicking on all right now, but just I want to show the filters. I show the filter here. And obviously I want to see the drop down. So let's say I can't, that these options are not available in these countries. So let's say I'm only interested in the tablets. Okay. So chewable tablet, this goes away, this goes away, this goes away. So now for the tablets and for my particular purchase order numbers, this is the situation that I'm seeing here. So I only have 2 countries, Cote d'Ivoire, and I have South Africa. And for my particular purchase order numbers, and the tablets. So these are this is the situation of the weight and the pack price. So by default, the weight is actually represented by the colors. So South Africa has more weight of consignments as compared to Cote d'Ivoire. So the weight is more, but the freight cost is I think quite less as compared to both evolve. So here the fleet cost is more, here the fleet cost is less, although the weights are less here. So these are also situations. So in this way, you know, we can create the different, we can use this smart. So I can also, you know, choose the different things here. So I can choose an area chart here. So let's add this to context now. And let's remove this from the context. I add this to context and I remove from context. Okay, so I have to remove this here. So now it's here. So remove from context, and let's say I've selected like this. So you can see what's happening here when I choose different things. So this is not very convenient to understand. This is obviously this could be convenient. So with respect to the pack price, I guess. But this is basically joining, you know, so I can choose to show the squares or the circles, or I can have my own shape. So when I see the shapes, I have a shape variable here. So I can use a plus here, for example, or a static here, whatever seems convenient to you, or a greater than sign here. Okay. And so this is how we can, you know, analyze the data in this way. You see, it's also possible to change this. So let's say I want to change the average fleet cost is the detail right now. Okay, so the detail is another, you know, another factor in this shelf, which shows me the numbers. Okay, so what's the detail of this element? So in the detail, I'm showing different things. But if I want to convert this to color, I can convert to this to any. You can convert that to a label, for example. So I can convert this, or I have now two labels, the pack price and the detail. So I can do these conversions as well. So detail simply means what's displayed with each item on the chart. Okay. And obviously now if you want to see it closely, now you can, you know, just browse through it and see what's happening here. Obviously this is not very interactive. So thanks for watching. This was all about the filters and how we can play with these, the marks shelf here.